All right, I'm going to go ahead and apologize for the light, but it's pretty apparent that I'm never going to stand this thing up straight without some type of mechanical help. So what I'm going to use, because I don't want to scratch at the paint, is I bought these cargo straps a while back. You can see them here. They're rated for 10,000 pounds working load of 10,000 pounds, brake strength, a working load of 3,300 pounds, and brake strength of 10,000 pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and get these strapped up, and I'm going to use the 4066 and the forks to lift it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and do everything, get it set up while it's in the air. That will make it easier. And then I don't exactly know, I might just stick it in the shop just real quick, just kind of stick it in the door right here and just leave it there for right now until I finish getting everything cleaned up. But I'm going to work on that. I'm going to use some chains, straps, a couple different things. I'm going to try some different routes to go, mostly because I don't exactly know how I want to get this set up. So we'll go from there. All right, so I feel pretty confident in how it's hanging there. I am sure that somebody on the safety police is going to say, well, you should have done it this way, you should have done it that way. You know what, it's hanging in the air and I'm not dead yet. So And I feel safe, so I don't see any problem with the way I did that. But I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to put the braces on the brace for the feet, but I'm going to go ahead and put the feet on. That way when I set it down, it'll actually set down straight. I'm not having to work with it with my hands too much. Now I realize that there is a risk of me working underneath it while it's suspended in the air, but the tractor is still running. Everything holding it in the air is rated well over what any potential weight is going to be hanging there, so should be fine. Alright, there's one side done. Haven't tightened it up yet. I'm going to try to get it as level as I can, and then I'll set it down, and I'll probably do the other side where the whole thing's sitting down a little bit lower on the ground. definitely set this thing down so I can get to the other side. All right, so that is definitely a better way to hang it because it's more level. The reason you couldn't do that to start with is because you couldn't access those bars. Plus there's all those hydraulic lines and everything up at the top. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the other foot on, and then I'll probably pick it up inside from one of the things and just set it in the shop. So let me get the other foot on. Okay, got that part done. Now I get it set down. There we go. So I'm going to work on getting this all straightened up, and then I'll come back and I'll show you my progress. Okay, so I got it all together. It only took me about 45 minutes to assemble it. I have gone ahead and tested it out just to make sure, mostly just to make sure that it worked and everything. So I just put a piece of metal in there, and I put about 10 tons of pressure on it. And actually marked up the sides pretty good, but that's fine. Or the blocks. So my initial impressions, I think it would start off, sorry I spun the camera so fast there. These are all the tools that I needed to do this. I have no earthly idea why so many. On the feet down here, so on the feet, the bottom bolts were both 18 millimeter. And then these right here are 19, both 19, and then up in the middle they're 18 and 19. I didn't get it, but that's what it is. So and then because the way they packaged it, you can, if I don't know if you remember, but there were a couple of bolts over there. That's because some of the bolts just rattled out in shipment. And in the process, they rattled out of the box, I guess, because they were clearly there and they were not there in the box. So I had to replace these 2 bolts that hold the winch on. I had to replace those, so those was just, I just used grade 8 or maybe grade 5 hardware. That's why I had the 9/16. Now obviously if you bought a US made press, you probably would not have some of those issues, but you know, being from China, you're getting what you pay for. So I can't get it any further in because the way I have to pick it up, I can't get the hit the roof of the garage. So you know, honestly, I've played with it a little bit. Works well. The air, I mean, it's very slow, but you would expect it to be slow with 40 tons of pressure. So I mean, that's nothing to be unexpected. Here's the air handling right there. I had to purge it, but that's pretty simple. All of it, actually the instruction manual is pretty well done for something that's Chinese made. So yeah, overall I think it's going to suit my purpose as well. We'll see. I'll definitely have to work on getting some better rigging, things like that, because I don't necessarily like how this sits in here right now. Just not a fan of it, but we'll get there. I'll just have to figure something out there. I've got enough 1-inch steel from plows and stuff that I've taken apart, old John Deere plows. I've got 1-inch steel, so I can cut that. But other than that, I think it'll do well. So now it's just a matter of getting everything cleaned out. It made a little bit of progress. Have a lot more progress to make. Obviously, I haven't decided if I'm gonna put it where that black shelf is or put it where that cabinet is, and kind of angle it either perpendicular or vertical. Either basically kind of against the wall or coming out from the wall. So that's where I'm going to put it. Now, one of the things that somebody might say is, well, the air tank's right there. What happens if something gets loose from the press and hits the air tank? It's a legitimate concern in my mind, but for what I'm doing, I don't think I'll ever... For what I'm doing, I don't think it'll ever be that... I'll never put that much force on anything. I mean, most likely... I mean, I bought this press as a permanent purchase, so I intend to have it for many, many years. I do not intend to have this exact shop for many, many years. This shop right now, as it's set up, and as I'm using it, I'm going to say I'm going to use it like this for another 5 to 8 years, and then I'm going to build a new one, and this is going to be turned into basically storage. So at least that's the life goal. We're going to see if life actually happens the way it should. Never does, but that's the goal. So the press would move with me to the new shop, and that would go in a completely different area. So for the number of years it's going to sit where it's supposed to sit, I'm not too concerned about it. So, and you can come back to this video in a couple years and say, hey, you said you were going to build a new shop, and it's 10 years later, and it'd be cool if I'm still on YouTube in 10 years. But anyway, thanks for watching. I think I'm going to call it quits on this video right here. And I'll get the press in action. Got a couple things I need to do, and so we'll go from there. So thanks for watching.